Cases of depression have been surging over the past few years. And
we see over 5 million Americans living with this disease, and those numbers are projected to just skyrocket.
That's pulling down our average life expectancy, and so are deaths by suicide, the highest rate in at least 50 years. Studies show as many as 300,000 preschoolers have depression and are at risk of having it all through their lives.
Something is very, very wrong here. How is it that over 26% of adults in America are suffering from a diagnosable mental disorder? Or that over the last decade, depression rates rose 18%, and now it's estimated that 322 million people around the world suffer from depressive disorders. How did we get to a point where the total deaths from Alzheimer's have increased by 123% between the year 2000 and 2005, and that the Alzheimer's Association estimates that nearly 14 million Americans will have the disease by 2050? And don't forget about anxiety. Almost 18% of Americans are affected by anxiety disorders. And by all accounts, it's on the rise, especially within the younger generation. According to the American Psychological Association, 12% of millennials have a diagnosed anxiety disorder, which is almost double the percent compared to the baby boomer generation. And our young children don't have it any better. Let's talk about ADHD. In 1997, about 6% of children were diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. And that number jumped to more than 10% in recent years. That's a 60% increase. It gets even worse. Did you know that suicide was the 10th leading cause of death in the United States last year? And that the life expectancy in the US dropped because of the rise in suicide and drug overdose in America. We're all familiar with the opioid epidemic, but did you know that there's a strong link between depression and the abuse of opioids? That studies have shown that a 1% increase in depression diagnoses was associated with a 26% increase in opioid-related deaths. Is this just now a fact of life? Is this the new normal? Should we all just expect to get one form of a brain disorder or another? I don't know about you, but I'm not willing to accept that. We have to do something about this epidemic. There has to be another way. Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, and I'm the director of the Cleveland Clinic Center for Functional Medicine. I'm an 11 times New York Times bestselling author and a practicing family physician. I know what it's like to suffer from a broken brain. As a young physician, a cascade of events left me with a host of devastating brain disorders, including ADHD, depression, anxiety, and memory loss. I went from a happy, energetic, focused physician to someone who couldn't even remember the name of my patients. My story of recovery from these brain disorders was the foundation of my first docuseries, Broken Brain, which I previously launched. Over 1 million people watched this docuseries and told me that it fundamentally changed their understanding of brain health. But what many people didn't know at the time was that I was silently suffering from my second big health crisis. I never thought it would happen to me again, but it did.
your brain will thank you. It will light up. You're only as old as you decide you are. You know, you can become an elder without becoming an older, because you can grow in wisdom, and yet you keep on learning.
In this docuseries, I've asked experts to share actual exercises that you can do at home. Breathing exercises, movement exercises, community building exercises, and belief exercises. We are taking a hands-on approach to brain health this time, and I know you're gonna love it. 2 years ago, I was at one of the lowest points in my life, and it was a wake-up call. Not only was this period of my life physically draining, but I also had to confront a lot of trauma, limiting beliefs that I held, and stress that I'd not been dealing with. I wasn't that superhuman that I learned I should be in medical school that could push for months and months and without any rest or reset. I was a human whose body and mind needed to slow down and discover what was causing my body and brain to break down and what I could do about it. I went on a healing journey to pull myself out of this mess the same way I did over 20 years ago. I incorporated the core principles of functional medicine, and I learned much, much more. And now I'm presenting all this information to you. If you love Broken Brain, you're gonna love Broken Brain too. We're going to go even deeper so we can achieve our best brain health together. Thank you for watching Broken Brain 2. What a journey we've been on. I hope you've enjoyed this docuseries as much as I've enjoyed putting this together with my team. I've learned so much in the process. I couldn't wait to share it all with you. We know that health is far more than just a lack of symptoms. True health is not about the absence of disease. It's about the presence of vitality. The Brain Reset is all about finding your most authentic state of well-being through a customized plan so you can feel truly vibrant and alive, and not just okay. So often my patients ask me, how can I transform my health and wake up feeling good every single day? I tell them it takes inspiration, it takes intention, and practical tools that we can use every day. I've led thousands of patients toward a life of joy and vibrancy, and I want this for you too. I want you to wake up every single morning and give your highest gifts to the world. In functional medicine, we use a different roadmap to understanding disease. We call it the Functional Medicine Matrix. And it identifies what predisposing factors you have, whether they're genetics or triggering events, and how your lifestyle, your relationships, your exercise, nutrition, stress, sleep, all influence these basic functional systems in your body, things we've been talking about, like the gut and your hormones and your immune system, your energy system. These are all part of the key steps to healing a broken brain, and we understand these together in a way that allows us to create a roadmap of what's wrong with you, what's out of balance, and how to fix it. So the matrix is identifying what's out of balance and how to create balance. In functional medicine, we believe we have to look at this whole picture together. For example, you can't exercise your way out of a bad diet. You also can't eat a perfect diet and live a sedentary lifestyle and do nothing to address unmanaged stress. Your health is all connected and all encompassing. So in this episode, The Brain Reset, we're gonna walk through a plan that addresses some of the most important aspects of your health and the information provided by our experts. And they include community, relationships, spirit, purpose, emotional health, nutrition, body and movement, immunity and detoxification, and mindset and practice. So let's start with nutrition.
你天賦上這樣活他，夜
道你不比了而珍貴？受累那可使你的歲月變多？難道你一生就是這樣憂慮？吃什麼，喝什麼，穿什麼？你們要先祈求他的國與他的義，你所需的都已加給你。
明日自有明日的憂慮風雨，一天的難處，一天當可救了。
你們要先祈求他的國與他的義，你所需的都要加給你。明日是有明日的憂慮風雨，一天的難處，一天當就夠了。天空飛鳥，不收不種，你天父常這樣活他，難道你不比了而珍貴？受累那可使你的歲月變多？你們要先祈求他的國與他的義，你所需的都要加給你。明日是有明日的憂慮風雨，一天的難處，一天當就夠了。明日自有明日的憂慮風雨，一天的難處，一天當就夠了。
Now, along the same lines, it's important to focus on your sense of purpose if you want to feel fulfilled and complete. Why are you here? What's your calling? Feeling that we have a purpose in life and sharing our unique gifts with the world allows us to tap into a much more joyful way of living. Now, this concept is so deeply connected to our well-being, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. It connects back to our heart-brain connection that we talked about, and that's why it's an important part of the brain reset. Having a greater purpose in life has consistently been found to predict lower mortality across all stages of life. We also know feeling purpose can benefit your brain health. For example, people who maintain a greater sense of purpose in life have been found to have a lower risk of stroke. Our internal dialogue is intimately connected to our physical body. So how can we tap into our own sense of purpose? A major part of pursuing a sense of purpose is identifying what makes you feel your best. What parts of your schedule do you most look forward to? How can you make more time for these things in a way that light you up? And also, what's sucking away your energy and happiness? How can you step away from it and leave it behind? Are you keeping an open mind to unexpected opportunities and things that can actually elevate you? These are really important questions to ask yourself so you can better understand the role of purpose in your life, to feel happier and more fulfilled. So these are really important questions you should ask yourself so you can better understand the role of purpose in your life. And that's going to help you feel happier and more fulfilled. And it's a great stepping stone into the next area of our brain reset, emotional health. Now, most people don't talk about these things, spirit, emotional health, your beliefs. I mean, this is really important stuff, and it actually determines so much about your health. I mean, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs literally communicate with every aspect of your biology every second. Just think about that. Your microbiome, these trillions of bugs listening in on what you're thinking. Your immune system is listening in on what you're thinking. Every aspect of your biology is tuned in to these things. That's why they're so important. They're not just fluffy things that are not real medicine. They actually are real medicine. In fact, we study sociogenomics, which is the idea that when you're having an interaction with someone, you literally can change their gene expression by the quality of your interaction and relationship. That's pretty mind-blowing. If you're in a fight with someone, you're turning on inflammatory genes. If you're having a loving, connected, heart-centered connection with another friend or a human being, you're going to turn on all the anti-inflammatory genes. It's amazing. So this stuff is really important. Okay. And with some other people, I kind of mix and match whatever I need. Help me overcome my emotional barriers that change my life. It helped me change my inner dialogue, my thoughts, in a way that allowed me to see what I was doing that kept things going the same way, which wasn't what I wanted. The more we push the bad feelings away, in fact, the more power they actually hold over us. And as we've learned from this series, ignoring your emotions can actually contribute to physical disease, which is one of the many reasons it's really important to face your fear of really connecting with your feelings. Now, at this point, you might be asking how to bring all these concepts together and how to understand the brain reset as one program. And that brings me to the final area that we'll focus on, mindset and practice. In this modern and busy world, I've learned to become a master of my time. I have about 10 jobs. I have a wife, 2 kids, multiple teams, and weeks of travel at a time, and the list goes on. It makes me a little crazy. Now, with all this, it can feel pretty easy to become overwhelmed. But what's kept me grounded is making time for the daily activities that make me feel good. It's easy for me to say, cut down on sugar, eat a whole foods diet, make time for movement, connection, and relaxation. But I have to walk the talk too. And this was especially important when I was healing from chronic illness a couple of years ago. Our mindset, our daily practices, can be the strongest guiding force to carry us on our journey to better health. And this is a huge part of my wellness routine. And this is how you're going to bring all these concepts from the docuseries full circle into your own life. Having the intention to eat well or to get regular exercise doesn't make you successful. It's taking action on those good intentions and making them part of your daily routine that will help you. It's helping you make them a habit. Your mindset is your collection of attitudes, how you respond to challenges, how you express gratitude, how you manage your time, how you take care of yourself, These are just some of the parts of your life that you can look at to get a better understanding of your mindset. And mindset deeply affects our body. In the case of stress, for example, people who feel challenged by stress instead of defeated have fewer psychological responses like anxiety, depression, and anger. In other words, they thrive from being stimulated from a little bit of stress. Too much, not so good, but enough stress to actually get them motivated and connected and engaged. Making healthy habits part of everyday life and part of the daily pattern that you follow so they become second nature is all part of harnessing the power of practice to create healthy action from a healthy mindset. We know that health is not focused solely on one specific thing like diet or exercise. It's a combination of many, many lifestyle choices, with the backbone residing in our internal attitude and a devotion to doing the work. The mindset and practice that we have allows us to turn our intentions into vibrant, glowing health. So I hope you'll use our steps outlined in this episode to leverage your own mindset and to create daily practices that will successfully integrate all the other parts of the brain reset into your routine. I can't thank you enough for joining me on this journey. It's been such a fulfilling and inspiring experience to dive into so many important topics with these incredible experts.